I can't stop thinking about colonizing. America deserves to play the Uno reverse card on the British. You know, the colonizer gets colonized. But hey, why stop there? Everybody needs the American dream. Firstly, let's start with the basics of freedom. There would be 8.1 billion Americans. That's a whole lot of unsolicited, bald eagle freedom patriots roaming the 247 new states from Alabama to Zimbabwe. And for the internet domain, it will no longer be .com or .uk, it would be .oil. And the Americans will get rid of the U, no more U in colour or honour or mum, and move over Arabic. Your language is now about to get Latinized. Oh, and don't stress UK, under American rule, you'll finally get something you've always needed, better dental care. But before you get too excited, let me be clear, there will be no free healthcare for anyone. Not for you, not for me, not for anyone, not even for your coughing little snot-nosed cancer kid. Why? Because freedom isn't free, and neither are hospital visits. That's capitalism, baby. And taxes. Get ready to be acquainted with the IRS, as the art of filing taxes the American way will ensure that you remain confused, sweaty around the crutch, and guaranteed to ruin your weekend. Now visualize this, the world will be forced to embrace Burgerpunk, a greasy future where the common streetlight is replaced by golden glowing arches. And for countries like Spain, Japan and Thailand with a king as the head of their monarchy, they will now have the title of Burger King. And there will also be some new world capitals, of course Washington in DC, but also Washington, South Africa and Washington in Australia. You could think the Americans would turn national parks into parking lots, but they wouldn't. In fact, American billionaires with Tesla technology will rise up zombie Teddy Roosevelt to create new and better national parks, like the Great Wall of America, where park rangers and Smokey the Bear will ensure that the Mongolians don't start any fires. And the world's largest military will be the American military, but now with global jurisdiction. If you got oil, even in your cupboards, watch out, they want it. And trust me, the European mind will comprehend this when Colonel Sanders and his Raptor squad come freedom knocking on your double-hung Dutch door demanding to see your oil, and the Pentagon gets an upgrade. It's now a hexagon, expanding freedom one vertex at a time. So how will this affect your old motherland? Well, say France, you can forget fancy wine and cheese. Under American colonialism, it's now Franzia chillable red and craft singles, and baguettes will now come with ketchup as a standard. And for Australia, forget saying use, it's now y'all. And Sydney, your iconic tower is now a KFC bucket. And your thongs, budgie smugglers and Bankstown burkers are now pumped up kicks, jorts and Hawaiian shirts. And for Germany, considering that America has kinda already occupied you in the past, prepare for America allowing Poland to invade you for a little Saturday war games. But once everything has settled down, your world-class efficiency and workforce will be replaced by North Carolinian slackers and community college dropouts. Oh, and Scotland? The bagpipes will now all have auto-tune. And your kilts replaced by cargo shorts, and the free universities you all have are now crippling student debt institutions. Enjoy! And for New Zealand, the haka will now be performed with AR-15s. And to liven up Frodo, he'll now bounce around Tolkien land with a fentanyl addiction. And what about Canada, I hear you ask?
Nope.
See? You're already halfway there, but seeing that you like immigration so much, enjoy a steady flow of everybody from everywhere now that there is no borders. And for Quebec, sorry, there's no more French or Quebeconese or whatever that word is. It's the Appalachian slang poke droll for you now. I'm fixing to enjoy this. And your southern cousins, Brazil, your Christ the Redeemer needs a cheeseburger. And your Amazon rainforest, well, obviously it needs an Amazon warehouse, the name's already there. And the Philippines with your jeepneys and your strong Catholic family morals, these now need to be NASCARs and white Anglo men knocking up your brides. And for the world's most loved country, Norway. Norway, your oil is now America's. Stop drilling now, hand over your sovereign wealth fund and all your electric vehicles and prepare to be mounted by raw American patriotism. While you're there, tell Sweden that Stockholm is now the global headquarters of the NRA. And for Denmark and Finland, America will be sending you some of the Utah Rocky Mountains so you don't feel so mountain deprived. I think Copenhagen could really use some Mormons though, so now Denmark will no longer be known as the land of nothing. And let's be real, Poland's history books will now start with "The US saved Europe" and end with "You're welcome." We can't forget the lesser known continents. Let's start with Africa. The only transport in the Nile River will now be jet skis, and in Asia Minor, the Taliban will team up with the city of Florida to impose even stricter laws, and Bass Pro fishing shops will now have a monopoly on the Tigris River in Iraq, where you can now legally go grenade fishing. So this new world order, how will the financial system work? Well, there's no more euros or pesos or V-bucks, it's all freedom bucks, and the conversion rate is $1 for however much oil you have. And passports will now come in 3 colors, white, black and brown. And the culture wars, all Japanese anime and K-pop songs will now be dubbed over with Nicolas Cage voiceovers, and every movie ever made is a Marvel sequel. And for education, it will include 90% American history, 5% World War II, well, because America saved everybody obviously, and 5% vague references to other less important events like the fall of the Roman Empire. Also, every math problem will be a sports analogy. How many footballers does it take to get to the end zone? Science will only include creationism. Gym class will solely focus on bullying the geek, and literature classes and school plays will all be Dwayne Johnson movie quotes.
But sometimes I do bad things.
But let's look at some of the positives and negatives like a good unbiased YouTuber. So if America did this, America would have the world's largest economy and a GDP of $25.46 trillion. And to keep the capitalism oil machine well going, every Friday will be a Black Friday, and the average house price will now go from 100 square feet to 2,467 American feet. The world will benefit from a litany of tech bros in tech unicorns with data harvesting innovations, where Meta's market cap will go from $902 billion to infinite dollars, and the world will be safer with the most advanced and modern technological military with an unmatched influence. There would be 130 million active duty members and 500 million AI bots, and the military will have a budget 3 times the size of China's 325 billion GDP. If you're not sure what that looks like, that's the purchase of 5.1 billion camo pants. Are there any downsides? Well, no. But there might be some hiccups, like healthcare will cost the average person $12,500 per year and cost 18% of America's current GDP. However, this could be solved through the gamification of healthcare. Medical expenses could be covered through crowdfunding. But let's be real, there might be some backlash to all of this. This could all be sorted out with some good old American diplomacy, like these guys.
The women who made history throughout history.
Of course, there is a tiny hiccup in this plan. Maybe, just maybe, America should conquer some education first before they conquer the world. I mean, it's kind of hard to colonize the globe when half your citizens can't even find it on a map, and they end up calling Portugal Spain's butt, or just more Spain. So everybody, brace yourself, get your Uno reverse bounce back card ready, because I am ready to fight the American colonialism machine, because I cannot live in a world where pineapple goes on pizza. Ready the emus, boys, let's attack.